Hello everyone, this is Darwell20, and welcome to episode 24 of Darwell20's Let's Play of 1810 to the Sky. A little bit more modern industrialization today. So I'm recording these three back to back. I really hope you guys are enjoying them. Looking forward to seeing the feedback in the comments. Are you liking this like change of pace for Dyer where I'm doing modern industrialization kind of in like the correctish way? Hopefully. So far, so good. We'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys say. Leave me a comment. Tell me. I want to know. So today we want to look at silicon plates because that is the last thing we need to do in order to get my large motor and large pump. So like everything else is pretty well automated at this point. It's just these guys that are, a thing. I do want to eventually upgrade these machines to electric tier because I think that would like be awesome. I might do it off camera though, because like it's really just making all the machines and rewiring some stuff, and like, we'll figure it out. But I will see. But I want to do that later. For now, I want to get like this stuff going. So what is involved in making silicon plates? It's just a compressor with silicon ingots, which we can get by smelting silicon dust. Is that basically the process? Yeah, okay, cool. Silicon dust comes from macerating existing silicon ingots. So this is not like your thermal silicon. This is like, or applied energistic silicon. This is different. We could combine quartz dust with coke dust or quartz dust with carbon dust to get silicon dust. Now, carbon dust, we can macerate carbon plates, or we can centrifuge coal dust. Okay, so I feel like this production line might be one of the first ones that's like a little bit more complex, right? Let's just see what our other options are here for silicon dust. So we could either do that, we could electrolyze emerald or lapis, but that does not sound like the way I want to go for this, for sure. Like, definitely not. So I think our best course of action here is the electric blast furnace, which I assume is what's going to be required for this. And it's cupronickel tier that we're going to need to do this. So remember, like, the coils, like, they go in the middle of the thing. So we're going to have to, like, the blast furnace, like, these coils are cupronickel or whatever, right? But we need heat-proof machine casings. We need LV input dudes, right? So we're gonna need to get into electric blast furnace today. That's cool. So, and then we're gonna need magnetic cupronickel wile to make that stuff. So hopefully I can make all of this. So let's get you. Actually, do I want to? I feel like that doesn't need to be an on-demand craft thing. What does need to be is this. So we need the polarizer, sir, and we need cupronickel wire, so we can make cupronickel coils as well, and that is gonna be a whole thing. So, yeah. Okay. And then heat-proof machine casings need Invar plates and Invar gears, which I think we're cool on at this point, right? Yeah, we're cool on that, at least. That makes for relatively easy. We're also going to want LV input hatch for energy, because I assume these are energy-based. So I want you on the auto-crafting list. And then we might need some other input hatches, but we'll like figure that out when we get there. Because this is a multi-block, much like these guys are, right? So we're gonna want to be prepared for that. So yeah, let's get that going. Now, whether we're gonna have like a dedicated big multi-block per resource that we have to produce, like we've been doing thus far, I'm not sure, right? Because like this one, because they're big multi-blocks, I'm not sure if I'm going to want like 20 of them, but we might. I honestly don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build one, and we're going to autocraft with it, and then if it turns out having, a whole setup where we have like dedicated ones for certain resources makes sense, we'll probably have some kind of a mix where there'll be like an on-demand craft for one, and then like a dedicated resource for the other. Or we'll do like an on-demand craft, and we'll mix it with this and the keep in stock mechanic. We'll just kind of figure it out as we go. Dyer, he doesn't always have exact plans for things. So I think step one is polarizer, and then step two will be cupronickel, whatever that is. That is a wire mill of cupronickel plates with cupronickel ingots, which are copper nickel dust, which is going to be gonna have to be a mixer. Might have to be a mixer. Looks like a mixer is in our future. We'll probably do an electric one because we got electric going on right now. So cool. Seems cool. Is copper nickel dust used for anything besides smelting? The answer seems to be no. So there's no reason to store the copper nickel dust. We can make the dust and then push it directly into a smelter, which will then push it directly into inventory, and we won't store the dust as an intermediary. Cool? Cool. All right, so step 1, polarizers. See why I need to, like, fix things? Yeah, if they're misbehaving, I gotta get away from the whole using hammer for things. Okay, but there's polarizers, so that's cool, and that's gonna let me make the magnetic copper nickel wire. Blah, 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 blah. Dire speak. Right. So you are going to need a wire mill. Let's get the electric one. Remember, that's the one I want. So electric wire mill. It's gonna get like real annoying real quick. Okay, the whole hammer getting in my way thing. So that'll get the wire, right? You're gonna be makeable after we get that, and then you're gonna need the plates, which needs to be a compressor. So we're gonna get an electric compressor for that. Should be doable. Nice. Okay. And then the ingots is just kind of like any smelter. Is there a modern smelter? Just curious. There's an alloy smelter, actually. Electric alloy smelter from extended industrialization. Maybe we just do that and we can skip the whole mixer bit. I like that idea. Though, that's going to need magnetic copper nickel wire. If we got the first 3 of them, then we could go that way going forward. That seems like a cool idea. Do we like that plan? Can we get the first 3 just like real quickie manual? We have a bronze mixer. We could do that real quick. We could do a manual mixer real fast. Right, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, we could do that, right? And then copper nickel is copper and nickel. Right, so give me like 30. Do we have nickel dust? We do. Right, because we have N-bar, right? We mix them initially. Okay. We'll get our first batch manually so that we can move forward with automated. Is that cool? Alright. So now let's assume that we've got some copper nickel ingots, right? Is it time to like split this off and do like a whole separate line here, or should we just keep building out this line and like eventually run into power problems and have to upgrade to MP and all that? Oh, guess we'll find out. Yeah, it's a good question. But so effectively, what do we have left to make? We have to make you with a compressor. Right? So I'm thinking we should have, like, a compressor set up like these guys, but, like, all electric. So I'm wondering if we, like, start a new line over here. That could be cool. I'm not sure how I want this to play out. Like, do I just want, like, a really long line of automated machines? That could be fun, right? Like, we could just have, like, a nice little gap here. And then what we could have is, like... Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking, right? I don't even know if you need... You shouldn't need an under thingy anymore, right? So, like, if we had the steel compressor, and then we had functional storage... You know what I'm going to do real quick, just because I keep doing this and needing it and not having it on demand? I want you to be auto-crafted, please. Thank you. Right? And then we could have a functional storage. I know we're going to want like a bunch of these, so give me some. And then some of you while you're at it. Okay. And then you could go here with a downgrade and a lock and then a connection, right? And then we could have compressors. Now, did I put a steel compressor? I want an electric compressor, right? Yeah, that's what I want. Not a steel compressor, an electric compressor. Right? And we'll probably want a few more electric compressors. So let me get those crafted too. Okay. And that should be cool. See, that's why I want the electric compressors, because a lot of what we're running into here is the hammer thing not being like reliably available. That's annoying. I need to stop relying on hammers and do this properly with compressors, right? But then we do something like this, where we have the electric compressor, and then we have the electric compressor, right? And you output there, and you output there, and you output there. Okay. And then you three can be responsible for making plates. Is that cool? All right. Let me come back in a minute, because I'm pretty sure this needs to be compressor, right? Yes, compressor's the only way. Let me come back in a minute, and we'll be ready to get this going. What I'm going to do is set up a new one of these to make this, you know, a reality. So back in a sec. All right, we're back. So here's what I've come up with. I decided I want to expand this a little bit more. So I've planned, I think, for everything I want to do here. Couple things I did off camera. I added a couple more steam boilers here to make sure we have plenty of steam ready to keep these things running. So this should be filling up pretty nicely now, I think. For the most part, I don't quite know. It's not quite fast enough, but like it's getting there, maybe? I don't know. If we need to like make some kind of multi-block steam generator or something, I guess we'll figure out when and if we need to do that. But then here's the plan, right? It should be as easy as getting a bunch of tin cables. Let's get like a bunch of them, like a bunch, right? That should be easy peasy. And then a bunch of pipes, a bunch. And I'm going to put this in some kind of semblance of an order here. So, do we want more fluid pipes? Sure. That sounds cool. And maybe a couple more item pipes, too. Perfect. Okay. So, I want to have another advanced the interface. Extended interface. Okay, and you're gonna live basically here. Make sure we have enough. Cool. How are we doing on channels? Surprisingly, somehow okay. But it works, right? So you're gonna make sure that you're outputting out the back, right? We're gonna run power. I'm trying to make sure that this, like, has some semblance of sense to it, right? But you're basically going to run to here. And then I want you to run up here. Okay? So now you guys can kind of all keep this thing going, right? So everybody should have power now and be happy. Cool. And then here, you're going to keep in stock the things you need to keep in stock for all the potential things that we're going to make, right? So let's, so like these are the things we want to make. So like let's make sure that we have the correct ingots prepped. And I think what I'm going to do is like, so you're already making battery plates, right? Is that what you're doing? You are. Good, good, good. So we don't actually have to worry about battery alloy. We can skip that one. That one we already have a compressor for. But basically, we keep in stock some number of each of these. Not that bronze. And we're going to need a crafting card. Right? 20 should be good. Cool. Okay. And then you're going to have item pipes. That also run up here, like so. Cool. But I don't want you connected to those dudes. So this is kind of the thing I'm trying to do, right? So now you can be an empty blacklist, so you can extract all the things. It's just you guys I have to figure out how to like worm my way into. Easier said than done, I guess. I really need to figure out how to connect stuff without having to wrench it all. See, that is driving me nuts. There we go. Okay. So you're going to insert electrum. And you're going to insert bronze. And you're going to insert copper. Right? And in terms of plates, that's a lot of what we already have. Copper. You know, like these are all the plates that we're currently auto-crafting. I'm going to try and cut down on the number of ones that we have to, like, do manually-ish. Right? So you should all be ejecting, right? And then you can be that. And if you're configured to eject up, you're cool, right? And you eject up. And you eject up. See how that works, right? And then they'll all back stuff. And that's cool, right? Now, similarly, we're going to have some upward inserts. And this is where stuff's going to get tricky. Okay, so that covered those three. Now we're going to do aluminum and tin. Aluminum and tin. Which I would have expected to work. Did I put plates in there instead? No, 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 nope. Why are you not working? Oh, oh, oh! Now we're cooking? Now we're cooking. Just took you a minute, that's all. Right? And then you guys will be configured to click, click, click. Just make sure that you're outputting to the back. right? And then you're going to be aluminum and tin. Why are you, like, struggling to get that up there so much? This one is aluminum, and this one is tin, and we're cool, right? Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So that's keeping all that in stock, right? Now, iron plates, do we need that for modern industrialization at all? That actually is not on autocraft. Steel plate, Invar plate, and gold plate are, though, right? And you're all using that. So let's do gold next. So we'll do steel, Invar, and gold. We'll just do steel next. Why not? Steel, Invar, and gold. Okay. And then you're going to go right there, and that should auto-eject. Sweet. Okay, see how this works? And then this is a repeatable pattern that we can do. Now, what's really cool about this is I could bring this up a Y level and do this all again right on top. And it would literally just be like a copy and paste of this structure right above it. And we could have another three high thing above it. And we could get, 9 more batched right like that. Is that cool? So then you do Invar, and you do gold. Okay. Invar, make sure you're outputting down. And gold. Cool. So now we'll leave the hammer recipes in the system as like a bet. So like we'll keep 64 in stock from our machining, but then in the event that we need more, for whatever reason, immediately, we can let the hammer handle it. Is that cool? Or should we get rid of the hammer recipe? Maybe we get rid of the hammer recipes for now, and we'll see if this, is cool to do. Right? So Invar plates. Boy, do we have a lot of plate recipes. You, steel plate. We should get rid of all of these, basically, right? In theory, the word plate is somewhere in these items here. What's still craftable? Aluminum plates? Right? Everybody good now? Cool. All right. So then all cleaned up. Better? I like that quite a lot, actually. And then this will be the pattern that we follow for, like, other craftings. So, like, what I'd like to do is convert this whole setup here to match this, because it's way cleaner. Look at how clean the wiring is, right? Super cool. And we can absolutely snake in some fluid wiring as well. And we can do away with all the steam nonsense. Is that awesome? I like it. I really do. And remember, one of the plates we needed was cupronickel, which we, haven't gotten around to yet, but now's the time, right? So here can be cupronickel ingots. Here can be you. So if I do that, you should start making cupronickel ingots, which we can put in there, and he'll auto-output. Cool? Cool. And then, I'm thinking like we have vertically stacking 3x3s of stuff, right? So, like, what I'd like to see, and I might like expand this outward, right? But we'll have like the plates here, and we'll have 3x3 plates, and then when we need another batch of plates, because we like just like we're done with plates in this setup, right? We have all 9 plates going, but when we need another batch, we literally just copy and paste this upwards, and then we have, you know, another batch of these machines ready to go. And that's going to be our plates setup. And then similarly, we can build vertically like a 3x3 section of wire mills that'll build these kind of dudes. And then maybe we'll do the same for these, maybe not, I haven't decided. And then we'll do like a 3x3 of cutting machines, and they'll be responsible for that. And a 3x3 of bending machines, and they'll be responsible for that. Like, what do you think of that? Does that sound cool? I feel like it's cool. I feel like it could be super cool, right? And then like on this side of the row, right? We have like the machines that are multi-blocks, right? So we'll have a setup of multi-blocks going across that way. And then we might use, I don't know if back here will be a separate island for something else, or if we'll just keep extending out our modern industrialization workshops. But like, I suspect initially I want to have like a keep in stock setup like this, but then eventually we're going to have like a production line where it's like this goes into that, goes into that, goes into that, and then makes an item, right? And I think like one of our first ones will probably be, you know, we'll see. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, I like this. So now our next deal should be wire mills, right? Because what we need is to convert you into cupronickel wire. Now, is cupronickel wire used for anything? It has cables. My question is, do I want to keep the wire on hand, or do I just want to turn it into magnetic, right? This is MV cabling. Good to know. Is it used for anything? It's needed for cupronickel coil making. So cables are needed to make the coils that we're going to make in a minute. So then, yes, we want to keep in stock these guys and these guys. Cool. So, yeah, I like this. I like this plan. I'm just trying to decide. You know what else we could do is we could, like, have an opposite face here. We could also do a similar build-up right here. We could do like you, and you of machines that similarly stack upwards. That seems really cool to me. How about we do that with our wire mills? Is that a plan? I'm gonna get electric wire mills on the autocraft because I'm tired of crafting them by hand, and I should do the same for compressors. And I should probably do didn't we need something else? Not yet, but like eventually electric cutting machines probably, right? If we put these on autocraft, that'll be cool. And then what we can do is we can do wire mills times 9, right? Now we're short on a few things, but that's okay. You know what I'll do? I will immediately go and upgrade the plates. So 1, 2, 3. Is that cool? Okay. And then at the very least, I can get the first 3. And then everybody kicks back into gear, right? So you're going to sit here, which means my first 3 machines should go here. Okay? So let's get those first 3 wire mills cooking. So we did have to use a hammer for something. What do we need a hammer for? Maybe the rods. Are we still doing rods with hammers? Yeah, we're probably still doing rods with hammers. Maybe not. No, we aren't doing rods with hammers. What did you need a hammer for on my wire mill? I don't know. Steel rods, maybe? Yep, that's it. Steel rods is the only thing we're currently using hammers for. I'm okay with that for now. Right? So then 3 electric wire mills. And then 3 more electric wire mills. 6 if we can sneak it in. We can. Nice. Cool. Okay. So then you're gonna match here. Okay. And then you're gonna match here. Okay. And then you're gonna connect. 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 Okay. And then the first thing we need is cupronickel wire, right? So to make cupronickel wire, it's going to be cupronickel plates. So we're going to do this, but we're going to keep 20 in stock. Okay. And then you guys are going to go in here, cupronickel plates. And then that should be cool, in theory. Now, if you're outputting to the top with an auto eject, and then we want our functional storages here, we're going to want a bunch of you. Well, actually, we already kind of have them. Okay. Now, why are you not getting your cupronickel plates yet? Because you should be. Because you got them in stock. You got cupronickel plates. Do you need, like, faster output or something? Put any motor here to do more item pipe speed. Because if we look at that, see there's like a delay or something going on. We're going to have to look at how this works. Because I'm thinking my problem is because everything else is crafting at the moment, it's like not keeping up. Right? It's not transferring fast enough. What does this do? Not applicable in insert only. Right. There's a modern industrialization book I can look at this for. Pipes. Right click without holding wrench. Whitelist enabled. Every tick, fluid pipes will try to evenly extract all connected blocks and insert evenly. Read more about their speed here. Item pipes will insert items into the higher priority first. They will transfer 16 items every few seconds. They can be upgraded with motors. Note, the item pipes are on whitelist by default, which means only items... That's fluid pipe speed. Is there any way to speed up item pipes? Or am I going to, like, hit a bottleneck here? Because that's going to stink real quick. It says I can add motors, and I did. Item pipe speed, total stack upgrade. Plus 2 items for every 3 seconds. So do I want, like, more motors here? Network moved items 44. That's definitely helping, I think. Hey, now we're cooking. Cool. And then we've got our cupronickel coils. Sweet. Okay. And then we can migrate some of the wire mill work over to there. I like that plan. I like that plan. All right, let's wrap up the episode here. We'll come back next time. Between episodes, I'm gonna like migrate some of those things over to this pattern, which I'm really liking right now, right? So basically, we're just gonna do you outputting to the back with auto eject on, and you should be getting power, but you're not, probably because I placed you after. Hooray! Right? And then finally here. Right? But yeah, let's wrap up here. Right? You should all be getting juice now. And maybe we'll migrate some stuff over. We'll kind of just figure it out. But that could be cool. I think our pipe speed here might be a problem, but we'll see what happens. If it continues to be a problem, like, so what's the max here? I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Trying to move a bunch of items all at once. As long as it's moving them, I'm happy. Right? So, that's cool. Alright, wrapping up point. Darwell20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time to continue along. Ooh, Fortune 4, you said. This episode. Goodbye. For now, take it easy.